Welcome to another of our Reflection for Learning activities. This is the second of two exercises, quite small exercises, designed to bring into focus the fact that you can let your own sense of comfort guide how you do any practice. And it's a very good platform for learning well, because if the things that you're enjoying, you can absorb and take on as part of normal life, and things you don't enjoy, you tend not to return to. So the inspiration for this comes particularly from a work of Eugene Gendlin, and he developed a practice called focusing. And this is a quotation from some of his guidance for people learning those instructions. And the most important point is that in the first sentence, they're instructions for not following instructions. Usually when we do things, we think, oh, well, we better follow the instructions and do it the right way. And, you might find yourself feeling really uncomfortable or unhappy following the instructions, but feeling I ought to do it, I've got to do it because that's what the instructions say. And if you do that, you might end up doing some harm to yourself, which wouldn't be a good idea and is definitely not good for learning. So what Gene did with the focusing instructions was he basically said, take a split level approach where you've got the instructions and you try and follow them exactly so you can learn what the instructions are pointing to. But at the same time, being sensitive to how the instructions feel for you, so you can notice what works and what doesn't work. And when things don't work, stop, don't do them, back off and do something different instead. And the logic there is that you can actually learn from the things that don't fit you just as much as you can learn from the things that do fit you. When an instruction that you're given is you're asked to do and it doesn't compute, it doesn't make sense, it feels wrong, then just pushing ahead is unlikely to be helpful. There's something present there to be learned from, oh, I think I need to do X, but it doesn't feel right. So at that point, just stop, step back and notice what's going on and see if you can reorient from there. And of course, you may find that it's a really good idea to just stop doing the practice entirely and just have a rest. So it's we want the priority, the center of the process to be you noticing what actually is helpful for you and let that guide you. But this is a really tiny exercise or small exercise to kind of show you how that can actually work. So we're going to do something quite simple. I'm going to start with the phrase, I feel ... about climate change. And we're going to do it in two steps. You're going to I've got a multiple choice set of 4 words that you can try in that slot. I feel sad about climate change. I feel angry about climate change, scared, relaxed. And the idea in the first movement is just to see which of those words, if any, fits. And if you can tell which word is the best fit. And what we're trying to do here is notice how subtle our sense of which words actually do fit is. So you can notice how astute you can be about noticing when an instruction or when a direction works for you. So I'd like you each to try initially with those 4 words, sad, angry, scared, and relaxed. Try out each word in the slot in that sentence and see which one, if any, feels like it's closest to naming how you feel. So I feel relaxed about climate change. I feel sad about climate change, ... And as you're doing that, notice how it feels to follow the instructions and see if you actually can find something that fits for you. Does this list of sad, angry, scared, and relaxed, does it actually help you say how you feel about climate change? And maybe it will, and maybe it won't, and maybe it will in some respects and not in others. So just take your time and notice what's actually right for you if you have to pick from those lists. And if you have to pick from those lists, you can decide, I'm not going to pick from those lists. That's an option. And when you feel ready, if you feel like you've tasted all the 4 of them and got to wherever you want to get to there, you can let go of these multiple choice options and choose any word or phrase you like, or make up hybrid words if you like. So you might say, I feel troubled about climate change. I feel confused about climate change. Any phrase or word that you might want to put in there. And you can make things up. I feel angry, scared, sad about climate change. See if there's a way of saying how you feel personally about climate change that's clearer and more precise than those 4 options that we had before. And it's okay to find that no words fit. And if that's the case, stay with that. Maybe how you feel is too complex, too intricate to be put clearly into words. Maybe there's too much going on there. Just change the instructions for this little practice in any way that you need to make it helpful for you. I feel ... about climate change. What can you say that actually helps that become clear for you? If anything, you might notice you can feel something, or maybe you feel blank, but at any rate, you don't have words. So our goal here is to notice that you can tell what fits and what doesn't fit, and that you've actually got there a really subtle resource to help you work out how to follow and not follow instructions in whatever ways are actually helpful for you and for many other things in life besides. If we just kind of return gently now to touching base. Go back a second, I think. Yes, there we are. And I just touch in and see how that worked for you. Yeah, go for it, Anne-Louise.
I'll just say that I think what's good about this exercise, or useful about this particular approach, is that it really does cause you to step back from the exercise, from the instructions, to think about, the intricacies or the nuances that are meaningful to you. So, saying a phrase in the simple way, like I feel something about climate change, I actually can't identify with that statement. It's simple, I should be able to, but for me, it's actually more complex. And so by thinking about the complexity, I then started putting more words into the sentence, but then I could identify with the sentiment as a result.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that's really the whole point of the exercise from a learning point of view, is to realize that, whoa, I'm being asked to say I feel X about climate change, and it's really hard, particularly if you've just got the 4 words we've put up there as an initial list, to actually say how we feel. Our feelings are more complex. And that feeling layer is in the underground of everything we're doing all the time. And it's a support and a resource for being more astute about how we look after ourselves as we're practicing. And that greater comfort it's a solid platform for learning and a safe platform for learning. Either Marina or Kate want to say anything? No obligations. Okay, all right. So just to underline, this is an exercise that is designed to help people notice that there's a kind of a felt layer of discerning, which is a really precious platform for learning to not follow instructions as well as to follow instructions when you're practicing. So you look after yourself and you actually give yourself the best chance to learn helpfully. And it's a new exercise, but we anticipate including it in our next edition of our Reflection for Learning guide. The guide's available from Advanced HE at the URL down the bottom, and the guide has lots of general background on reflective practice exercises. this one of this kind of exercise and lots of other interesting ones. So I'd encourage you to download that and have a look at that. And if you've got any feedback for us, please send it to us at reflection4lc@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.